Okay, so we'll be learning about Booleans today, and Booleans are basically truth or falses. It might not seem very useful right now to have an entire variable type dedicated to holding truths or falses, but we'll show you how they can be useful. All right, so just like numbers, truths or falses can have operators too. So Booleans, which are truths or falses, can use a variety of different operators like not, and, or, and these types of things. Lucas, do you want to explain the not operator?
All right, so the not operator pretty much, I guess, flips it to the opposite. For example, in the one shown here, as Boolean 1 is equal to true, then if you want to reset it to make Boolean 1 equal to not Boolean 1, they'll make it the opposite, so false. And then when you print out, it will be false. So that's pretty just easy if you want to flip the operator from true to false, false to true.
I know in the slides it talks about if statements, and we haven't talked about that yet, but we will talk about it soon. And if you can almost think of it as like making a number negative. It's going to make it the opposite, right? Same thing with Booleans, it makes it opposite. If you have a true, it makes it false. If you have a false, it makes it true. Next, we have an AND operator, in which both have to be true in order to return a result that is true. So that might sound a little confusing. So we will give you an example right here. So as you see, we have A and B. One of them is true, one of them is false. If you put A and B, it's going to actually return a false. That's because only one of them is true. In order for it to return true, it has to have both a true and a true, not a true and a false. To the right, we have the OR operator, and it returns a true if at least one of them is true. So that means you can have a true or a true or a true and a or a true or a false, and that will still produce a result that is true. But if you have a false or a false, then that's not going to produce a result that is true. Oh wait, if you guys have any questions throughout, feel free to private message the user that is direct questions to me, that person with the black icon. She can answer your questions. Okay. So we're just going to minimize my screen. Lucas, do you want to explain the if statements?
Oh, if statements, all right. So the basic idea, since we're doing it with Booleans at the top here, is an if statement only, as you see, it's like everything after a certain if statement is tabbed in the regular commands. Let's just say with one shown here, it says print Boolean 1 is true. The thing is with if statements, they only work, like they only do everything after that's tabbed if it's true. So for example here, if Boolean 1, there's really no statement there, Boolean 1 has to be true in order for print Boolean 1 is true to, do anything. And with the one after that, let's just say if favorite is equal to blue or favorite's equal to green, it would do that statement if either are true, as seen, before when we were talking about the or statement. So if either were true, then it would print favorite colors either blue or green or both. And as said here, we don't denote what's in the if statement by what's tabbed. You see this little line here. Anything after this little line would be in that if statement, but if you tab back, let's just say with the second if statement, it won't be inside the other one.
Mm-hmm. And as you can see from this little thing that says favorite equal blue, the equal sign, when there's two equal signs next to each other, it basically means is equal to, and it's going to check if the things that are directly next to it are the same as each other. So I'm going to show you an example of that because you might not be able to tell from that one example. So if we have this, and we can say favorite equals blue. If we do if favorite is equal to blue, that should be lowercase. Then we can say print hi. As you see, it's going to print out a hi because yes, it is indeed equal to blue. So what this essentially does is that it checks if these two are equal and then returns a true and it tells the computer if it's true or false. That brings you back to Boolean. So basically it tells if it's true or false. You can also directly just put a Boolean to make the if statement go. Oh yeah, the console, as Michelle said in chat, it's the dark blue one over here where all your text gets printed. I'm going to say Boolean 1 is equal to true. If Boolean 1 print hello. And that's how if statements work. Do you guys want a few minutes to practice using if statements and doing this sort of thing? Maybe a thumbs up or say something in chat if you guys want to practice with if statements and Booleans. Okay, I saw a thumbs up, so I'm just going to type it. Okay, I'm going to do Boolean 2, which is false, and another Boolean 3, which is true. So as you can see, if you do Boolean 1 or Boolean 3, oh, I can't. It's because it's true or true, since both are true, at least one of them is true, it's going to print it because it's true. Since there's two truths, and for or you need at least one true. Same thing with Boolean 2. Even though Boolean 2 is false, because there's still at least one true, which is needed for or, it will still print out false. But if it's just Boolean 2, which is false, it's not going to print because this is false. All right, I'm gonna move on to the next day. All right. Lucas, do you want to talk about loops?
Oh, all right. So a while loop, as seen, well, there are a couple types of loops. We're first going to go over the while loop. A while loop pretty much makes everything under it you see tabbed, kind of like an if statement, works multiple times while a certain condition is true. For example, as seen right here in like lines 5 through 8, while I is less than 12, which I is less than 12 at the start is 0, it'll go forward 100 pixels and turn right 30 degrees. And then I will increase by 1. And then it'll keep doing that roughly 12 times until when I is equal to 12, it will be false. So then it'll skip over this while loop and go past it. And the thing is, even if the condition is, let's just say this I is equal to I plus 1 is in the middle of it, let's just say before this t forward 100, if it becomes 12 while it's still in the while loop, it will still go through the rest of it because it only checks when at the end of it. Okay.
Since you guys are asking in the chat, I'm going to make my own example while loop and I'll show you. Okay, so if I is equal to 0, here's my while loop. First you type while, and then you put your condition in parentheses. It's the thing that you want the loop to evaluate every time. Every time that this plays through, it's going to need to check this condition. So at the bottom, we could say I is equal to I plus 1. So since this is going to run into I is less than, while I is less than 12, we have to increase it so that it stops eventually. As you can see, it printed hello 12 times. And each time it ran, it increased one at the end. So it eventually went from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I mean, it never reached 12, oops, because it stopped right before 12. Here, I'll show you. Oh, what is confusing about the Booleans for you? I can try to re-explain that. Or you can go to Michelle for any questions. Oh, Michelle is the one who is the TA with direct questions to me. Oh. Okay. I'm gonna put the code for the while loop in chat, and I'll also give you Boolean's code. Right. So Boolean 1 is equal to true. Boolean 2 is equal to false. Boolean 3 is equal to true. I'm gonna say print eventually. Is anyone else having troubles with Booleans or if statements or while? If you think I'm going too fast of a pace or anything, then please tell me. I'll do my best. By the way, all the time, you are perfectly welcome to try your own hand at while loops and if statements. Please test and try things on your own. And I think that one of the best ways to try and learn something is if you work on doing it yourself. I'm just gonna copy Virginia. So. Oh, I just realized. In the while loop, I wrote down I is equal to is plus equal 1. Sorry, I should have clarified that. I plus equal 1 is I guess a shortcut for writing I is equal to I plus 1. It's the same thing. This and this are the same exact thing. If you replace that in the while loop, I plus equals 1 with I is equal to I plus 1, you'll see that has the same exact result. Oh yeah, definitely. You guys should experiment with different while loop conditions. Here, I'll show you why. If you never use I plus, if you never update I just, yeah, if you read the chat, our TA is trying to explain something. That, oh, if you guys do have questions, please do say. Oh, here's the, I'm gonna also copy paste the Boolean code in the chat. Boolean code. So yeah, please feel free to play around with what I just sent so that you understand Booleans better. Oh yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, so from this while loop, if you see here, since this while loop is only going to stop repeating once this condition is no longer true, if you remove this, it's actually going to run forever. I'll show you. See, look, it's going forever because this condition is going to be true because we never changed the value of I. So that's why it's a necessity to change the value of your variable that you're going to be using in the while loop, or else it's never going to end. Did that clarify things for you guys? If you guys are understanding, it'll be really helpful if you guys could put a thumbs up or yeah, if you put a thumbs up, you say yes in chat. Again, it's okay if you guys have any questions. You can either direct them to the TA in the chat, or you can talk. It's fine. Okay. All right, I'm going to be moving on then. All right, so we're going to show you guys a direct example using turtle and if statements and while loops, of course. So as you can see here, we're going to be using a while loop to practice with turtle. So here, although it says print, we can also just change that to make a turtle with. Don't forget, every time you guys, feel free to code along. And every time you use turtle, you have to put the import turtle module. Otherwise, you can't access the turtle code commands. And making your turtle, this is going to, I spelled turtle wrong. This is the creation of the actual turtle that you're going to be using to draw. All right, so now that you have your turtle set up, what you can do here, let's make a rectangle with turtle. So with this while loop, because it's going to be, it's the condition, the I starts at 0 and it goes up until 4, it's going to repeat 4 times because it's going to keep repeating on 0, 1, 2, and 3. So that's a total of 4 times. Although it says it's less than 4, because we're starting at 0 and not 1, it's going to be 4 times. Oh wait, also when you do create a new REPL, let me just show you. It's important to choose Python with turtle so that you can actually use turtle. Sorry, I should have showed you this before, but here it is. I'm gonna call it turtle practice. So if you import turtle, make your turtle pen and make your wallet to repeat 4 times. You can do turtle rotate, not rotate, right? 90, oh wait. Oh, if it makes things complicated for you guys, you can always use less than or equal to. In these, less than or equal to, oops. Less than or equal to. If you remember in math class, you know how you can use comparisons like less than or greater than or less than or equal to or greater than or equal to. You can always use those. For example, you can make this start at 1. And if it goes until it's less than or equal to 4, then you can still start it at 1. But then it'll stop after it's equal to 4. So yeah, here's your example of, oh oops, guys, I just made a mistake. I forgot to update I. There, and then now it should stop after creating 1 square. That's why it's really important to increase your I so that this condition will eventually not be passed. Oh, I'm glad that you think it's cool. Lucas, would you like to share your screen and then make another cool shape for us?
Shape. All right. So give me one moment.
Sharing my screen. Once you pull that REPL, I'll stop showing my screen so you can share yours.
There we go. This should, can you all see that? Put a thumbs up if you can see my screen here. Yeah? Okay. So since we're using loops, it's pretty much just going to base around sides. As you see here, make sure you have it imported with turtle or turtle at the top so that it knows that you're actually using it. And you gotta put T to turtle. And from there, you have, of course, have to define I as a variable so you can actually make how many sides you want with it. And then, of course, you have to make the statement to make it loop if you want to make an actual shape with it. Let's just say Y is, how many sides do you want for the shape? Just put it in chat. Since you can do it with really anything. See, how many sides you want here? 100. All right, that's going to take a while, but hopefully we have enough processing power for that. All right, so given that we're starting at 0, I'm just going to make it less than 100. And of course, you want, the colon there to make sure. And then T. Of course, you want to make it T out forward. Let's just say, since it's going to be a pretty large one, let's just put something small. Let's just say 10. Then T dot left. Just think. If I recall, you can use decimals. Hopefully that will fit. And then I is plus equal to 1. Actually, wait, are you just gonna double check? Well, I think it goes fast. Yeah, actually, let's just do T dot 0 so this doesn't take forever in a day. Speed 0. And just want to double check. Let's see if so I'm just reading through chat right now. Give me one moment. Oh, yeah, okay. So if we run this here, it should make a 100-sided shape pretty much instantly. As we have 0, it'll go 10 pixels, and it'll go constantly left to 3.6 degrees. As you see, 3.6 times 100 equals 360, so it'll loop in on itself. Now if we do that, it will, this.
Oh, it's
Oh,
I see. It's because
there we go. And there we go. We have a rough estimation of a circle here.
that's pretty cool.
And I guess we can, does anyone have any questions on that code there, or speak now or forever hold your peace?
Or you could just put your piece in the chat and ask me questions.
Or put your piece in the chat. So, oh, looks like you guys really like it. Thanks. I guess I'll give it back over to Galadriel to continue on.
Oh, all right. So I was just thinking that for a few minutes, you guys could try to make your own shapes and sort of things. For example, for our first challenge for you guys, can you try making an octagon for yourselves? We'll give you about 2 minutes to make an octagon. And once you're done with that, you guys can put it in the chat. How does that sound to you guys? Like with if statement? Oh, we were planning to just do it with the while loop. Here, we'll show you. All right. So this is my code that I used to make a square. So can you guys turn that into making an octagon? if you think about it, the little condition that's next to the while loop, oh, screen share? Yes, of course. So here's my screen, but right now I'm giving you guys some time to try and make an octagon by yourselves, and you can model that off of my code. Yes, 8 sides. Once you guys are done with that, I'll show you what I would do to make an octagon. Oh, hint to make it rotate, you want to do 360 divided by 8. Actually, I'll do that for you guys here. That would be 45. I probably could have done that in my head, but I don't know why I couldn't do that right now. So once you guys are done, just, I guess, say in the chat or give us a thumbs up. Oh, I see 1 thumbs up. If you guys don't finish, it's okay because we'll also be going over it ourselves. Or if you are finished, then feel free to make any sort of shape that you'd like. And after this, we'll be making some more shapes. Or you can also try making a flower as you see here. This will actually take multiple while loops, or you could use all t dot forward and t dot right, but then because you want to make it easier for ourselves, we're using while loops. Oh, I am screen sharing right now. Are you guys ready to move on and see how we would make the octagon? Oh, to add the color, we could do t dot begin fill. Here, I'll show you. Begin underscore fill. And after you finish making your shape, you do t dot end fill. Here is it. Sorry, right now Zoom is blocking my screen, so it's kind of hard to see stuff. Oh no! If you're getting an error, then I suggest that you go to RTA. You can send it to RTA and she will help you. Here is the fill command stuff. Actually, I'll show you guys. Anyone else like accidentally capitalize things all the time? Looks like my accuracy is not so great with typing. See, as you can see, if you put begin fill and end fill after switching something internal, then it'll fill it in for you. You can also change the fill color by doing t dot fill color. I believe this is it. This is wrong, I'm sorry. Like that. You'll have to put the color inside fill color in quotation marks to denote that it's a string. You can also do something like red. Are you guys done with the octagon? All right, I guess I'll show you guys how to make the octagon. So over here, all you have to do is change it from 4 to 8, and it will repeat that from while I is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that'll be 8 times. And then you'll have to make it rotate 45 degrees every time. Oh, I have to go down a little. There we go, like that. Okay. Do you guys want to try making a flower, like a flower that looks like this? Or would you rather start working in the console? How about you guys say in the chat if you either want to make a flower or not? Okay. Oh, Lucas, do you want to make the flower or should I? I feel like I've been talking a lot.
What? Yeah, I guess I can see if I can make that. I have to make it, because given I haven't done this in a while.
Oh.
But do I have to make it like exactly like the image there, or?
Oh, you can just, make petals of any shape and just rotate them and while loop.
All right. Okay.
Okay, I'll stop sharing then.
Okay. I'm sorry, I haven't worked with Python in a long time, but I'll just share my screen. Let's see. There, can you all see that?
Oh yes, here's the Octagon.
Can you put like a thumbs up if you can see my code there from the previous thing? There, I have to delete though. Let's see. So can you put like a thumbs up wherever you can? Let's see. You can see it? All right. So the way that the flower works, which given, I think I can flip over to the sides very quickly to show you. Some red on here. Okay, I can't really see it, sorry. It's pretty much just a shape within other shapes. So the way that you would most likely do something like a flower is, actually I'm just gonna use two variables since this would make it a lot easier. So, which given they haven't really shown you yet, you can make a while loop within another while loop. So the way you would actually, say this. Actually, never mind about the while loop within another while loop. Sorry about that.
Oh, you could have a while loop inside another while loop, but you can make it however you'd like.
Yeah. Actually, I think it'll be better since you have a lot more experience with this. Sorry about that. I think, Galadriel, you have a lot more experience with this type of coding and with the slides in general, so I think.
Oh, okay then. All right.
Sorry about that.
Oh, okay, I'll just share my screen then.
Yeah, I'll stop sharing.
All right, so I'm gonna try building it off of the previous octagon that we have. So I just made a function called draw octagon. If you guys remember functions, it's when you put a code inside. If you want to make your own function, you can put code inside of something that says define, then your name of your function with parentheses, and then you can call your code whenever you want. This won't actually run, like if you just have this here, nothing is going to happen because this is specifically for the function. But if you put it outside the function, it draws an octagon. So you might be wondering, what does this have to do with drawing a flower? Well, we're going to be using this for drawing our flower. So this is going to be counting as like one petal. And then, first of all, I'm just going to make my turtle speed, speed 0 because I just want it to be fast. I'm going to put it at the bottom actually. And then I'm going to rotate it because the petal needs to rotate. So we can do that with the while loop. So I is equal to 0. Actually, I always use I use I. I is less than 4, I say. Let's give it 4 petals, like in this sort of shape. And then, oh wait, did we give you guys time to try and make it on your own first? Or I can just continue making it. Do you guys want time to make it, or should I just continue making it? Because I also want you guys to try and do things and learn it by yourselves. You can give me a thumbs up if you want me to continue, or oh, okay. Then you guys you can have time to make it. Oh, since the majority, the consensus is to have time, then I'll give you about 2 minutes to continue making it by yourselves, and I'll go over it, of course, by myself once you guys say that you guys are done. So I'm going to stop sharing, and in 2 minutes, I'll show you what I have. Oh, and also, you can only for the flower, please. Oh, I can show you what I just made. I was planning to show the code when you guys were done, but I'll show it right now. So if you guys want to continue working on it, you don't have to look at my code yet, but you can look at it once you guys are done. But I will screen share since some of you guys want it. I did use Octagon since that's what we already had, but wait, this is zoomed in. I'm gonna make it smaller because it's so big. And you guys don't have to use octagons. You can use like triangles or like rhombuses, like all different kinds of shapes to make your flower. I just chose the octagons because that's what we already had. So this kind of looks like, I think they're called pansies. It kind of looks like a pansy flower. So I'm just gonna use some of the old things that we use. For example, let's use fill color. The fill color is, let's make that red. So we have a red flower. Oh, I guess it's like, because turtle is coloring this, I guess it didn't acknowledge that line, but oh well. Yellow too. There's a lot of different colors that you can use, but these are the colors I chose. So those of you guys who decided to make your own flowers, you guys can check back now and look at my code. Oh, there's, would you guys like to move on from the flower? We can learn about something new. Or would you guys like more practice with while loops and if statements and Booleans? Oh, for the person who asked 2 colors at once, yes, you could do 2 different colors, but you have to be more specific in where you put begin fill and end fill. Oh, you mean like red and like yellow? Oh, I believe you'll have to like change the fill colors, but I'm just change the fill colors and like state where you want it to begin filling and end filling. But for then here, I'll put my code in the chat since the TA just told me that some people want code. Okay, here's our code. Alright, I think someone said to move on, so let's move on. Alright, let me just minimize my Zoom window. The thing about if we learn about input, that's like a whole new thing, and we only have 10 minutes left. You know, let's just do it really fast. Okay, so have you ever seen like in code when when the computer has like collects information from the user? Like for example, in like a Google form, you have to type in information, the computer saves it. So we can do that with the input function. Lucas, do you want to explain the input function?
All right, which funny enough, I've told to a couple people. An input function is pretty much within the console, which actually, do you mind if I share my screen for one moment?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Because it may be a lot easier to explain.
Yeah, go ahead.
If I quickly go interrupt here. So if you didn't notice before, you see this bottom part here with the little orange and yellow arrows? That's the input, that's the console. So when an input occurs, actually, just gonna put like what an input would just say, this would be an example of an input.
Oh wait.
Is equal to that. So whatever it's pretty much acts like a print statement. So whatever you put within this input here, let's just say hello, it would print out to the console, but then the next line, which would most likely have the little yellow arrow by it, you can type in pretty much anything you would want to. So, and then if you add up, let's just say, and it'll, won't continue the code until you enter in something within there. And if you add a variable, let's just say I here, and make it an integer, whatever you type in would be applied, and let's just say I would be equal to whatever you would type in, let's just say the number 4, or something like that. That's the basic idea of an input.
Can I screen share again to show something on the slides?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So if I screen share, so the thing about input, so whenever you put in between the parentheses, it's also going to be printed. But the thing about the input function that whatever you put inside its parentheses, so here I'll show you. Let's say answer is input. What's your name? It's actually not going to be put onto a new line like print is. Because I had to put an enter key afterward to submit my answer to the console. So that's why the hello is on a new line. Oh yeah, so you can also have it without any text in the parentheses, and it's still going to be saved. You always want to put the input next to like a variable so that whatever the user is putting in will be saved to the variable. Also, if you can also just have it alone, but that's not going to do anything because although you're collecting input, the user won't have the answer that the user put in to keep. When you do want to put something in the console, you have to click here and type, as if you're coding, but it's not going to register as code. But if you guys want to try something like that, like a quick show to show you guys that it does indeed get saved. I say my name is Galadriel, and it's going to print my name back. You guys want to play around with that for a little bit by yourselves? I'm going to give you like a minute to play around with that. I'll send the code in the chat. Where is here's the input code. Play around with like what you're gonna put inside, or you could play around with by like not putting text inside the parentheses. The computer will always wait until the user types something and presses enter to get the information, because the nature of the input function is that it waits for the user to put in information. Okay, I think I gave you some time. I'm going to show you a way to use if statements with it. So for example, I could do something like answer is equal to input, and so I can say, what is your favorite color? And then if an if statement here, if answer is equal to red, I'll say, or if answer is equal to blue, print same. I'm going to show that really fast. Oh, the zoom window takes up so much space. Okay, if I run that, and I write blue, and it says same. So you can actually use it to, if you use it like this, then it's a really good way to interact with the person who's running your code. Does that make sense to you guys, or do any of you need clarification with input? Can you guys give me a thumbs up if you guys are okay with it? And if you guys aren't okay with it, you can just say it in the chat. That's okay, no judgment. All right, so since class is basically going to be over in three minutes, let's recap all over again by looking at our slides. Lucas, would you like to do that?
All right, let me just pull this. One moment.
All right, so Lucas is going to go over everything.
Yeah, I'm just.
I hope that you guys do understand everything, and if you don't, that's okay, because we'll be releasing a YouTube video with everything, I believe.
Okay, so what did we learn today? So first we learned about Booleans, the basic variables that make something either true or false. We learned about operators based around Booleans, such as not, which flips it to the opposite, either true to false or false to true. We learned about other operators with it, such as and or, which and making something true if both are true, or, which is either one. We did some practice with both of them. We learned about if statements, which only work if certain conditions are true, which you can either just put something saying, having that equal to true, or doing more complicated if statements, such as making a certain string equal to something, let's just say blue or green. And we learned how to combine both of them using or, such as right here. We learned about loops, with making those shapes, such as the rough estimation of a circle and that octagon. And we learned how to, of course, use combinations with them, along with a small amount of functions to make flowers shown by Galadriel, like this one right here. And we learned about inputs. which pretty much allow you to input things into to the console and for them to be saved under variables, such as shown right here and by Galadriel. And that is pretty much all. Next time you'll learn about how to make a calculator. So, I guess that's everything.
All right. I hope you guys had fun.
Hope you guys had fun and you are free to go.
Bye, guys. Hope to see you next week. I mean, I won't be there, but there'll be a new teacher.
Okay, bye all.
Bye, guys.